The foundation course for leadership, and what you will be learning is the basic foundation of leadership course, like fundamental skills, the knowledge, and how to become an effective leader. It is not a one-day activity that is going to happen, but it is going to be like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, as the mentorship program, what you guys are doing, right? Similar way, it is going to be a mentorship program which can be done one-on-one, or you can do it online course and you can complete it. So end of the each topic, you will be having objective questions which you can answer, and it will help you to understand different leadership styles and how to go about. And some examples will help you to grow yourself or groom yourself in the leadership role, whichever the role that you want to be in. You will be eventually attaining that level. Okay. Now coming to the course curriculum. What you will be learning, you will be learning two different modules. One is the basic foundation leadership course, and the second module what you'll be learning is today's leadership in today's corporate environment. How is the leadership are looked into? What are the different topics that are associated with leadership? That is what you're going to get into. Now let's go to the basic one, first one, which is the foundation. Now in the foundation, the basic thing what we need to understand is what is leadership, the definition of leadership. So when we talk about leadership, everyone are a born leader by default. But what happens is, until unless you polish the raw diamond, right, it is just a stone. Similar way, until unless you polish a person based on his capability, based on his niche. Niche is nothing but the intention what he becomes over a period of time, right? For specific goal, specific purpose, right? And it is going to be a day-to-day journey where you're going to learn this qualities. It's not going to be a one-stop solution for things, but it is going to eventually take some time for you to scale up to the ladder. Now, to understand leadership, it has been divided into different subsections or topics. The reason it has been broken down into small chunks is because as a human, the retention rate on anything that we start is only 30 seconds. So after that, what happens is our mind will start floating around. So as an example, Lekha is in the bus, there is a disturbance around, probably she will get distracted in a minute. Okay, Anusha is sitting in a silent room, probably some thought process will get into our mind. So this is what is the challenge with every human being, that whenever we try to concentrate and focus on one thing, it will take you to the next thing, right? So how do you remain focused? How do you remain, dedicated to one particular thing is where you need to divide all your activities into small chunks. So those chunks are given a topic, and those topics are learned in the form of a lesson. Okay, it may be academics, it may be work related, anything that you want to do in life. You need to break it out into small pieces. Now, keeping that intention in mind, the leadership topics, whatever we are going to talk about, are divided into this small chunk. The first topic, what we are going to talk about is vision setting. So generally, what is vision from your perspective? So the way to look at it is, common man, if it asks them what is vision, they'll say, okay, my vision is fine. Correct, right?
Yes.
So whenever we are asking some question, the reason I brought up this topic is, until unless you are not clear with the context of your question, people will start assuming things. So my question should have been, what is your perspective, or what is your definition of vision in leadership? Make sense? And what is your vision? The first answer was, my vision is good. Right? So that is the reason it is very, very important for us to understand, whenever we are trying to interact with people, we need to set the stage before, we need to set the platform before, so that they understand what is that person is trying to communicate over a particular topic. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'll ask you the same question, Anusha. What is your definition of vision in leadership? Okay, so just to make you, help you to answer, my vision in leadership is a long-term goal of becoming an individual who is independent, self-scalable, and reliable to others in the field of corporate. In the next 5 years, I am planning to be a good developer, or I want to be a senior developer, or I want to become a QA lead, or I want to become a coder, etc., etc., etc. So that is your long-term vision. So what is your short-term vision? Short-term vision is, in order to achieve that long-term vision as a developer or a coder, etc., I need to come up with a plan, small chunks of activities that will help me to get into the role of a developer over a period of time. Now, what is your small step that you have taken? You have joined engineering academy and you have started learning coding, programming skills, right? It may be C, C++, or it may be Python, Java, whatever it is. Now for Lekha, she is under end of her semester. She has already learned. Now her vision is, now I have the foundation of coding, I have the foundation of programming. Now how do I get a job cracked so that I can fulfill my dream of becoming a developer in an organization or in a corporate environment? Inspired, right? Okay, maybe if a woman in the corporate owns, wins a appreciation award, or on the dais when you have been called out for establishing something special in the group of students which you are part of, that is a kind of motivation that gets to that individual. Inspiration is inspiring someone to get something done. Motivation is seeing that individual, you want to achieve that. You are making yourself motivated so that you take that step to get inspired, to get motivated. Make sense? I figured out a lot of gaps that when we are communicating something, we are not setting the context, we are not setting the stage, we are not setting this, we are not setting that. Now think about, in a corporate, you are doing a coding and your manager comes and tells you that write a code to shut down the system. Now you're obeying your manager order and you write the code and you press enter. What will be the outcome of it? You're going to bring the entire system down. Yes or no? So you have tasked to a certain task and the task is delivered without asking back. Now what is the problem here? The problem is communication. Manager intention was to create a code that will help to shut the system when it is required. But what was your understanding? My manager told me to write a code to shut down the system. Let me do it. Done. You see the gap? So that is a communication gap. So in order to understand this communication gap, you need to understand different types of communication. So it may be verbal communication, it may be facial communication, or it may be sign communication, or it may be written communication, or it may be oral communication. The way you choose the type of communication, to which context you are referring to that communication, will make the difference. Now, when it comes to corporate environment, you have different types of communications, right? You have internal communication with your colleague or employees. You have internal communication with your reporting manager or directors. You have external communication with people who are consuming that particular product, like customers. You have external communications with sales. You have external communications with marketing. You have external communication with HR, etc. So whenever you are communicating with each department, your tonality of communication will change. I'll give you an example. If you go to HR department directly and say, hey boss, give me my paycheck, what will be the next response? You are fired. Yes or no? So what would be the approach in HR department? Excuse me, sir or madam, I have a question here. I would like to understand the salary structure of my role and how will be I compensated on a monthly basis? What can I expect? Make sense now? Than going and asking, give me a paycheck of my month. See the difference? And you will go to sales department and say that I developed the product, you didn't sell my product. What will be the next response from the sales? Your product is crappy, I can't sell it. Correct? So the way we put across information is the kind of response that you're going to get back. So that is the reason you need to understand the different styles of corporate communication. When you have to be authoritative, when you have to be receptive, when you have to be diplomatically sound enough to decide on things, when you have to be spontaneous, when you have to be reactive, when you have to be submissive. So there are different contexts when you are talking, in the field of corporate, and it all depends upon how you represent yourself. And few people are very mood swing. You understand what is mood swing? If they are in a good mood, everything is good. Good, bad, ugly is good. But if they are in bad mood, everything is bad. And if they are in ugly, it is worst. Now, that is because of emotion within a human, right? Things keeps on changing. Your mood keeps on changing as you start interacting with people. Now you are interacting online. Your mood is different. Next to you, someone is disturbing you. Your mood becomes immediately different because they are trying to disturb you, right? So that is instant switch of your emotions, and that becomes an outburst. Make sense? And that is where we talk about emotional intelligence. Human brain is tuned and defined in such a way that it can swing across the mood in different direction depending upon the environment you are going to like to be part of, not to be part of. You like that environment, you enjoy it, you are in a good swing. If you are not in a good swing, you are not in a good mood, no matter how good the environment is, you will not like it. Make sense? Okay. Now, then comes decision making. Decision making is very, very important, right? We take some hasty decisions, we take some decisions which is not appropriate. Now, how do you take decisions is very, very important. And what are the things that you need to keep in mind while taking decisions also is important. Think about like this. If there is a decision that has to be taken where it is going to impact your financial condition at home, would you take that responsibility of taking that decision? Probably yes, probably no. If you are earning, probably you might have a chance of taking a decision. But if you are dependent on someone, will you have the authority of taking decision? You can only give suggestion. You can only give your perspective, but you will not be in a position to take decision. Make sense? Now, likewise, in corporate, every action you take will have consequences. Every decision you make will have consequences. That's the reason it is very important that when you are choosing or when you are deciding on something, you need to decide upon how is your decision is going to impact. Is it going to be impacting you as an individual, or it is going to impact the group around? And whenever you're working in corporate, it is always going to impact the group, because you're part of a system, you're part of the team, you're part of the organization, and every step that you take is going to have an impact. Okay. And finally, fostering environment. So fostering environment is creating the space, creating that ecosystem around you, which will help you to grow, which will help you to contribute on things. So for example, Lekha is doing some community surveys. She's been part of some presentations. She's been part of some activities. Now, that is the contribution that she is trying to give back whatever she has learned, right? And how it is that helping? That is helping her to grow in establishing communication relationship with people around. She is getting connected to so many people around where she is having interaction, she is learning, she is growing. Likewise, what is the contribution you are making back to the society with the information that you have captured or gained so far? So these are some of the few listed topics. Likewise, you'll have a lot of topics that comes under leadership. So here, for understanding purpose, it is just 5 to 6 topics is being listed. But as you move on with the modules, right, you will understand much better. Now, I talked about corporate, right? How do I bring a corporate environment to kids like you to understand how corporate works? Can I create a corporate setup in front of you and say, this is how it works? It's logically not possible, right? I need to physically take you to some corporate office, show the work environment and explain, okay, this is how things work. Or I have to create a virtual environment where it creates that kind of setup. Now, I have made an attempt to create such kind of virtual setup, which will help you to understand how corporate works and how the leadership can be learned in corporate environment. Okay.
Leadership is a critical
cover, so which you can register and go through it. And I was talking about MCQ, right? So you have the MCQ question. Which of the following is not a characteristics of an effective leader? So you will be able to answer it, and you'll also be getting an explanation in terms of why that answer was chosen, right? Okay. So we have modules like leadership purpose, then you have leadership skills, you have why leadership, 5 methods of leadership. So all these modules are made available here in the form of presentation slide, video format, and a MCQ. So end of each topic, you will be able to get the insight. Okay, so now what I want you people to do is go to this website. I think you already have access, right? leadershipacademy.tagbizsutra.com. And if you go to courses, in the category section, choose employee or customer training. Okay, and you can see this. Click on this and say continue. So you will be registered with your email ID and password, and you will get access to the course. Okay. So end of the course. So this course can be done in multiple phases. Either you can complete in 3 months, you can complete in 6 months, you can complete in 1 month. It is all about how much knowledge you are going to gain over a period of time. Okay. And you'll be part of the community where you can ask questions, and I will be able to answer those questions offline. And every sessions that we take, we will be covering one of the topic in the leadership. Make sense? Okay. So that's about it from my side. So let me give access to you people on the channel. Please do share the feedback